Welcome to Bloodbath and Beyond. Today we review The Slashening, where this get-together turns into a killer party.
Written and directed by Brandon Bassham, starring Anna Callegari and Samantha Reece, The Slashening is about 5 girls who have a slumber party, but an uninvited guest ruins all the fun. What do we like about this movie, guys?
I have to say, this was one of the funniest horror movies I've ever seen. The entire time, we were cracking up at every single thing that every single person said.
I think the parody on this was just top notch. There was also this meta humor about these B movies and these slasher flicks that they got just perfect.
A notable scene on the whole parody of the genre was when the girls are sitting there like, oh, we should just go get changed. And we should just slowly take off our tops. And they're just standing there with their hands covering their bras, and they're like, oh yeah, but I gotta tell you the story first. It just lingers for about a minute and a half, and then doesn't show anybody, and it's fucking perfect.
I found not only the parodies that were used in this movie were well executed, but the other subtleties that you don't get in horror movies that they made fun of, when Billy's in the garage and he's freaking out and checking behind him.
And the comedic timing of that whole situation as well. It's he did it a few times and you're like, ha ha ha, and then it got a little bit drawn out. They drew it out so much so that you start laughing again. Because if something's done too much, sometimes it's funny. Yeah. And in this case, it worked.
I want to talk about the acting in the film. At first I was a little concerned because it's, an unknown film and actresses and actors, but I think they played it perfectly. I think their acting fit the style and the humor and everything they were going for. It didn't distract. It was, I thought, really well done.
Yeah, definitely. I think every single actress nailed their parts and were so authentic when they spoke back and forth. Pat as well, I think, very notable. His banter and his you can tell some of his lines were improv. It was just hilarious. His back and forth with Billy on the couch, yeah, I think was just one of the funniest scenes ever.
I'm not gonna take advantage of her in a bad emotional state. It wouldn't be cool. I'm just gonna hang tight and be a good friend.
The extended scenes, usually sometimes you will get bored of it, but when they're driving and we hear 4 or 5 songs that they're singing, we just enjoyed it. We're just okay, we can keep listening to this for a while.
You are not my best friend, time today. For realsies, I'm being serious. We're never getting back together.
And I'd like an OST, if you could send one to me, that'd be great. Thanks.
Yeah. Sam Reece, hook us up. The next Alanis Morissette. The look of this killer was awesome. With the bag over top of the head, he looked like an awesome killer.
Yeah, he had a Friday 2 kind of look, very old school, and just a ragged mask. It's just a killer that's fuck it, I'm gonna make this mask.
The cop. We have to talk about the cop. Because both scenes that he was in, they were really funny. Just how he's warning the girls about a serial killer.
You've got to stay here all night. Inside.
So you throw in a little red herring, you throw in a lot of points about horror films, and he was funny when he was delivering it.
This movie was done for under $10,000. They had an Indiegogo campaign. While not all the kills were on screen, which is understandable considering, there were 2 really gory scenes that were really well done, I thought.
I also like the overall production value considering the budget. Everything looked really nice. I have no technical complaints about the film. The audio was pretty solid. It was well mixed. The shots were pretty solid. Nothing was distracting. You can watch this and watch it for the story and not be critiquing the rest of it. Thankfully, because this is few and far between.
What were our favorite kills in this movie?
I was a big fan of Pizza Guy number 4. I thought that was a fantastic kill.
I disagree. I think number 3 was the better one.
I beg to differ. Number 1 really set the tone, especially because he had the Dustin walk to him, so it brought it home.
What didn't we like about this film, guys?
I wish there were more on-screen kills. These guys knew that they were playing with the genre, and I'm sure that's why they didn't show everything. I want to see more on-screen kills all the time, no matter what. Even in Hatchet, Adam Green, more kills, please.
Though this film was really hilarious and hit all its marks, Beth, the drug user, I found the jokes were overplayed with her more than anyone.
Yeah, I agree. This is kind of one of those long, exaggerated scenes that didn't work. To be a little nitpicky, I think closer to the end it dragged. Like the last 15 minutes were a little more drawn out than I wish they were. And I know they were kind of trying to build some tension with the killer, but it was a little more boring because we were used to all of the comedy that came before it. So we were cracking up until like the last maybe 20 to 15 minutes. It's really hard to play with suspense at this point because, you know, we're expecting some more jokes.
Like, I found myself zoning out during that part. Even though I understand it story-wise for the film, it's just that it felt like it was missing something in there to really keep me drawn in. It's time for our final thoughts and ratings. I thought this movie was great. It had great humor. It had a great parody of the horror genre. It showed that the filmmakers actually understood what people like about horror movies and poked fun at it. They did it in a way where we appreciated it and wanted more of it. I'm looking forward to seeing more of this director and writer's work. The actresses, I think, have a good career ahead of them. And I look forward to seeing more of this type of humor and parody films from these guys. So I'm gonna give this movie 4 weird-ass business cards from a cop out of 5.
I definitely agree with Trav. I think this movie was very, very solid. Every actress was on point. They executed all of their lines perfectly, and I think they could all stand alone as like a stand-up comic. Like, I think they were just hilarious as people. I want to hang out with them. I want to drink with Lucy. I thought the movie in general just had some great humor that we don't get to see when people are trying to write a love letter to horror. These guys actually did it. And they signed it with their Johnny Hand-Dick or whatever. Yeah, I just think overall, I think you guys should check this out. Definitely a great film. So I'm going to give this 4 awesome split shots out of 5. I don't know a better way to describe that shot.
This film was absolutely hilarious. It hit all its marks. The characters were great. I loved the chemistry that Billy and Pat had. Everything in this film was very entertaining. There was a few things I wish I would have liked to see, like a few more kills, but overall, this was a great film. So that being said, I'm gonna give this 4 subtle dirty talks out of 5.
And then I could suck your cock.
I don't think you understand the point of whispering.
As always, thank you for watching. Like this video and comment below if you've seen the Slashening. If you haven't, please go and check this out because it's highly recommended from us. And let us know what you think is the funniest horror film or horror satire film that you've ever seen. And if this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe to the channel to stay updated with everything we're doing here on Bloodbath and Beyond, which includes What Would You Do's and other horror film reviews. And the What Would You Do for this one is coming up on Friday. So come back and check that out.